This is what happens when the soft life ain't soft enough.
He wanted me to be a housewife when we first met, and I decided to kind of change and wanted a career, and he didn't want that for me, so he gave me an ultimatum, and it's to stay at home and be a housewife or leave and have a career. So I left.
Girl, we want to smack you in the face right now. So let me ask you this. Was he paying all the bills?
He was.
So, and did you, when you guys got married, that was the plan?
Yes.
So basically, you had him, your husband. He was your husband?
Mm-hmm.
So he was your husband?
Yes.
You guys had a family?
Yes.
You agreed to be a stay-at-home
yes.
mom. What made you want to get a job?
When I had
Before we get into her stupid answer to that question, we have to point out that in video after video, gaslighting argument after gaslighting argument on podcast after podcast, they say that this is the exact life that they want. And in fact, that's the source of the reason why they're so combative towards men, particularly black men, for not being able to provide them that life. Here's an example.
Allow me to educate you guys on what soft life actually means.
Let's do it.
We're exhausted. Okay.
Is Melissa Ford only exhausted because she's now in her 40s, but was she exhausted when she was turning down marriage proposals in her 20s and 30s?
We are exhausted. That is it. We want a life where love does not equal struggle. We want a life in which there isn't a necessity to be combative and to always have your guard up and be hyper vigilant about every little thing, because as difficult as the world is for black men, it is equally as difficult for black women.
That show is called Listen to Black Women, and you know what? For research purposes, we are. But this is the data that we're finding.
You agree to be a stay-at-home mom. What made you want to get a job?
When I had to constantly ask for a couple of dollars to do stuff, when it was, no, I can't do certain things that I wanted, when it was, no, we don't have enough money to do activities because, one income. And I'm like, well, this is not the lifestyle that I want to live. Like, I just don't want to sit at home and fold clothes and not actually date and have the extra money to do stuff. Like, I just didn't want to fold clothes all day long. I'm sorry.
She says more than that, it actually gets worse. But to them, the soft life does not come with being a wife. They want a man to step up, be a man, be a leader, pay all the bills. But if doing that comes with some budgeting and saving up to make sure that you got money to adequately do the extra stuff and go on trips and all of that, no, they'll rather do all that by themselves and have that freedom. And guess what? They're going to have to do that same budgeting to go on their girl trips and thought it up. This reminds me of this. The channel is called 304 Math, where he makes little colorful illustrations like this to explain certain points. Pause it and check that out if you need to. But if she rebelled against a situation where he was paying all the bills and she wanted to work and have her own money so she can go do all of her extra stuff, then who is it that's really truly the advocate for these 50-50 relationships? If it's you're either going to be borderline rich or I'm going to work and be able to live single. That sounds a lot like that roommate that they accused us of wanting.
I'm sorry.
All right, boo. What kind of man you looking for now, honey?
Don't hate me for this, but I want somebody that's a little bit lit and turned up. My husband was boring. I know, don't.
He's boring, but they're tired.
We're exhausted.
Unless, other than the time when they're not tired. They're full of energy, and then they're tired, and then they want boring, but not too boring. You see what happened when you even attempt to do like the title of this show.